before I let you go, since you've been listening for 3 years, which I find that impressive, and the fact that you're self-proclaimed hot girl yourself, I want to get.
I'll let you take that liberty.
All right, I want to get your thoughts. Since you put me on the spot, I want to get your thoughts on this story.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
California's Rosalie Cleaners labels a gay man a sodomite after losing a court case.
What?
Now, you understand where the term sodomite originates from, right?
Yes.
Yes?
Sodom and Gomorrah? Yes.
Sodom and Gomorrah, correct. Well, anyway, apparently there was a court case in California. A California man is still fighting to be compensated by a local dry cleaner that he says has repeatedly used homophobic slurs and abusive language quoted below in its refusal to pay for his damaged throw pillows.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a twist I wasn't expecting. I was expecting that to have something to do with repeated dry cleaning of some pretty disgusting pants. But okay.
No. Apparently, this individual took some throw pillows to a cleaner to have them cleaned. All right?
Okay.
All right. So this typically is not something that a quote unquote a real heterosexual macho man would be doing.
Ah, I see.
Or would be concerned with. Would you agree or disagree?
I would, just based on personal experience.
Yes.
I would disagree because my ex-husband was pretty psyched about dry cleaning everything.
Okay, so is this one of the reasons he's an ex-husband?
No, that's a very long story.
Okay.
He's also banned from the country, so there you go.
Wow. Okay, well, it sounds like there's a long story there. All right.
Yeah, moving along. But, okay, all right, so I can see where that generalization is being made.
Okay. Byron Batista, 48, told the Huffington Post he went to North Hollywood. Have you ever been to North Hollywood, Emily?
I have not.
North Hollywood is typically known as a very gay haven. It's highly populated with people who are of a gay sexual persuasion.
All right.
Okay, just letting you know that. Byron Batista, 48, told the Huffington Post he went to North Hollywood Rosalie Cleaners last January to have pillows cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
When he returned to pick them up, Batista noticed that one of them had been badly torn. The owner, who called herself Rosalie Cleaners, makes a lot of sense,
Sure.
refused to give the man a refund for the tear. So that sounds like bad business practice to me. What do you think, Emily?
That sounds...
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Bad.
As the two began arguing, the owner of this store allegedly began screaming obscenities and slurs at him. She started saying, fuck you, fag, Rosalie said. That's when she took her middle finger and mimicked putting it up her ass.
She sounds like she's a little too excited, a little too interested in that sort of act.
Okay. The cleaning service refused to refund the man, who said he took the matters to the court not for the money, a measly $75, which he won, but because he didn't want a homophobe to win. Now again, if you are not of the thought process that you agree with homosexual relations, does that make you a homophobe?
So if I don't, say it again. If
you are not of the mindset, moral, religious, whatever your value system is, if you don't believe in same-sex relationships, if that's your belief, does that necessarily make you a homophobe?
By definition?
Yeah, by definition.
No.
I didn't think so, because I don't believe that either.
Well, phobia would imply that you're afraid.
Yeah, you're afraid, or if you come in contact with somebody who is, of the same sexual persuasion, that somehow you'll contract something from them, or you're afraid of them, or whatever the case may be. But if that's
your conviction, you're not afraid. That's just your conviction.
That's your conviction. But does that necessarily make you a homophobe?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, of course. But the thing is the liberal left, if you're not down with the whole gay community or the way that they live, that automatically makes you a homophobe, no matter what your reasoning is. Okay.
I'm just curious about let's give the woman the benefit of the doubt and say that that's her conviction and that's fine. She's entitled to it.
That's correct. She's entitled to her only thoughts.
Why would you open a business in a predominantly gay neighborhood if you don't?
North Hollywood has not always been a predominantly gay neighborhood. So not knowing the age or how long this Cleaners has existed, they've could have been there for 50 years for all I know. Could have been handed down from, family member to family member for all I know,
That's true. Or she could have opened it 5 years ago and she's just kind of poking the stove because apparently she's very interested.
Well, there could be some truth to both scenarios. All right. Despite winning the case, Batista said he was shocked. He was shocked. I'm always interested when, these news stories use the words, I was shocked. Were you really shocked? Because I don't know. I can't speak for other people, but there's very little in my life that shocks me, in the whole context of the word.
Oh, yeah, I've got I don't shock very easily.
Right. Despite, you listen to the classic metal show, so that does not surprise me.
Yes, you actually just shocked me so greatly that I've blocked it all out now.
Exactly. So despite winning the case, Batista said he was shocked to learn that Rosalie's Cleaners still held a grudge. So basically, if this Rosalie's Cleaners lost the court case, they're supposed to just go, yeah, you're right. I should just accept it and just go on. But he was shocked that they still held a grudge. A check provided to Batista shows the money order made out to Byron, quote unquote, the buggerer. Sounds like an English term, the buggerer. Batista immediately took the check back to the judge. So,
oh no.
So basically this boils down to, I'm going to legislate your moral conviction or your behavior because I don't agree with it. So I'm going to make the judge make you do what I think you should, do. So this Rosalie's Cleaners gave this guy a check But on the check, it said Byron Batista, the quote-unquote, and this sounds like an English term, the buggerer, Buggerer, the buggerer.
Oh, God help.
But of course,
aren't there children somewhere that need to be saved from something?
But of course, this was an issue.
Yeah, clearly, because when you're that involved in something that you should ignore, it tends to consume your life.
Exactly. So the judge, and I like the, and being that you're an English, major type person, the judge was the judge really like, oh, this is sad, Batista said. The judge was like.
Oh, no, yes.
Do you think the judge was really like, or did the judge say this was sad?
Maybe the judge was posturing and the man was interpreting his actions.
Of course.
Oh, God, I hate that.
All right. Well, anyway, the cleaning service was ordered to make out a new money order to Batista. When he attempted to bring the money order to his bank, he was met with a similar problem. He said the woman had written in all caps next to his name, sodomite.
Oh, good Lord.
I took it to the bank and the teller went, "Oh my God," Batista said. She sat down and she wrote a letter to the judge saying they can't accept money orders with foul language on them. Now, since when...
I must have missed that.
So since when is the term sodomite considered foul language?
I'm actually thinking right now, but I believe it is. I believe it's a sin somewhere in one of those fancy first 5 books.
So that's foul language?
It's all interpretation. The real question here is, why can't we legislate stupidity?
Well, we can't legislate. Again, I don't
focus on something else.
Well, again, this all boils down to people with an agenda, okay? Mm-hmm. And if it is outside of your agenda, then it becomes a problem. But the last time I looked up sodomite in the dictionary, I don't think that it comes out as a racial or a homophobic slur or anything that's foul language. It just says sodomite, which refers to Sodom and Gomorrah, as you mentioned at the beginning of the segment.
Yeah. Right. So look near interpretation of the Bible, because that's a whole other story. But the last time I checked, banks didn't turn down money.
Exactly.
I think mine called me the other day for some. Pretty sure if I wrote sodomite on the check, they still would have cashed it.
That's my point. Batista said he must now ask the judge again for help. In the meantime, he said he wants to get his story out to the public so no one has to deal with the bigoted cleaners. So again, if somebody has a viewpoint, regardless if you agree with it or not, they're entitled to their opinion. You're entitled to yours. But just because their opinion differs from yours doesn't mean that they're bigoted, or it doesn't necessarily mean that they're homophobic. It just means that they do not believe the same way you do.
Mm-hmm.
So after one publication shared a story, negative Yelp previews began pouring in. Now, over here in Indiana, a pizza shop was interviewed by a local news outlet, and they asked them their thoughts on catering a gay wedding. Now, they don't even cater, let alone a gay wedding. And because of the backlash of standing up for their thoughts and their viewpoint and their religious beliefs, the Yelpers out there, people who post on Yelp, started flooding their business with negative comments, but somebody started a Kickstarter campaign and they raised almost $1 million for this outfit. So I think I'll take a bunch of negative Yelp reviews if somebody's going to raise $1 million on my behalf because I stood up for what I believe.
Sweet.
It's just stupid. Again, we're getting to the point to where you're not allowed to have your own viewpoint or your thought process if it goes against whatever it is that the liberal leaning people believe. I don't know what it is, but anyway, if you don't believe that way, you're allowed to believe that way. Nobody says, again, you have to believe that way. And again, this guy running to the judge because this check was written out to a sodomite. Again, I believe the way that you do, Emily, that I think that the bank is not going to reject a check that says sodomite on it.
For God's sakes. That's just ridiculous. And you know what? That dovetails very nicely into, I think, maybe my reaction to the story about the woman owning a school and teaching these kids her personal beliefs, which is what she seems to be doing, is more along the lines of you have the right to, as in the Constitution, you have the right to what? 3 things. Remember?
What, free speech?
Or you have the right to, basically you have the right to pursuit of happiness is where I'm getting at, and I'm sorry, I'm very tired right now. I usually don't babble.
All right, well.
You have the right to the pursuit of happiness. As long as nobody is stabbing you or pursuing your happiness, just mind your business.
I agree. It's just like, okay, well, let me finish up the story and I'll let you go to bed. But anyway, so Batista said the cleaning service. Now, here's the thing that surprises me for someone who is so much of an advocate about, quote unquote, homophobia and stereotypes and whatnot. Batista said the cleaning service specializes in leather. Okay. You'd think that a place that cleans leather would expect to deal with some gay people. Now, what does that comment mean? What does that mean?
My reaction is that it means that there are some inherent fetishes in the homosexual world.
Okay, so is that not a stereotype?
Yes, it is. It
okay,
is exactly.
Okay,
it is a stereotype.
so this guy who is fighting against a stereotype, or somebody who's homophobic, or someone who believes a certain way when it comes to a certain persuasion, now is making a statement that said you would think that a place that cleans leather would expect to deal with some gay people. Okay, so what he's saying is that the stereotype is true, is what he's saying. It is what he's saying, but that's probably just true for him. Okay, regardless, but
I know a lot of heterosexual people who enjoy leather as well.
Okay, all right, well, there you go. So he is pigeonholing gay people as being bondage, leather, kind of like, bringing it back around to, the classic metal, whatever, the embodiment of what somebody like, say, Rob Halford symbolizes in a lot of the Judas Priest, visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he says, I don't want anybody spending their money here. He says that needs leather cleaning, he says. Multiple phone calls from Huffington Post to Rosalie cleaners went unanswered. I don't mind being targeted, Batista said. I want the community to know if that they want their leather cleaned, this is not the place to go.
He seems to enjoy being targeted, in fact.
Yeah. So he's doing exactly what he's accusing this cleaners of doing.
Is there nothing else going on in the world of media?
No, because everybody is so self-absorbed and it's all about me, and I'm the one who matters, and I don't care what's going on in the rest of the world, just as long as my personal my personal agenda is being handled.
Good Lord. Aren't there, I'm guessing there are a few starving people on the streets in North Hollywood that could, use some attention. You could give them a check. I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't care if the word sodomite was written on it.
Now, you're thinking too logical.
True.
I don't know why you even called this show, Emily, because you're just too logical.
Oh, I called the show because I was all excited when I got home that it was on, and
You're trying new things, anything that deals with leather.
Yes. Actually, my swing's coming tomorrow, so I need to get to bed.
Very nice.
Yeah, I got to get to bed so I can let the installers in.
Well, make sure that you include me on your email pictures. I would love to see that.
Not a problem.
All right, Emily. Well, you've been a delightful guest. I appreciate you listening to the show and calling in and being a part of this segment. So I think the only thing that's, the only way that we can end this segment properly would be to play some Judas Priest, Hell Bent for Leather.
I think that is a great idea.
All right, Emily. Well, call back anytime.
I will. Thank you.
All right, Emily.
For including me. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks for being a part of the show. Hail and kill.
Sure. Hail and kill.